Welcome to video number 5 in America, the Once Great Nation, or Was It Ever Great? Today, we're going to talk about immigration. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. Of course, we all know that is on the plaque of the Statue of Liberty. When I was growing up, we didn't discuss immigration all that much. It wasn't on our radar. It didn't seem to be important to us years ago. But today, it is a hot button issue. I think many Americans don't begrudge people from all over the world wanting to come here. We just want it to be done legally, to sign in and let us know you are here. There are two schools of thought on the immigration situation today. One has been convinced that the country has reached its saturation point, and adding more low-skilled immigrants will only lower our standard of living. The other arises when population growth is stagnant, and we need to add people in order to grow and realize new potentials, and that's fair enough. It has been stated that there are at least 11 million people without papers living in this country. Some experts believe it is more like 22 million. My mother's grandparents came from Russia in the early 1900s to avoid persecution. They came through Ellis Island and settled in New York City. My father's grandparents came from the old country. They settled in New Jersey around the same time as my mother's family. Jewish people moved mostly to Jewish areas. Italians moved into the Italian neighborhoods, and the Chinese moved into the Chinese neighborhoods. Thus, we have areas known as Little Italy or Chinatown. People with the same backgrounds tended to congregate together. It's only natural. Many activists will claim that it was migrants who built this country, and that's partially so. They did help build this country. So did non-immigrants. But today we live in a much different world than 200 or more years ago. There was no unemployment insurance for the person who lost his job. You were on your own, so to speak. There was no Social Security yet. The first thing Obama did when he became president was come up with the DREAM Act. The DREAM Act seemed to be a compassionate plan to address the children who were brought here as minors, having no choice in the matter. The Dreamers were given an opportunity to obtain a driver's license, work permits, and health insurance, and even go to college. But then the Dreamers wanted their parents to be given amnesty for entering the country without permission. No penalty and no going to the back of the line. This is where conservatives drew the line. We haven't seen a comprehensive plan from either party, Democrats or Republicans. And don't forget, fans, Obama suggested years ago that PWPs, people without papers, also pay a fine, learn to speak English, and go to the back of the line. If you doubt it, I'm sure you will be able to pull up this video tape of his speech. Many politicians and immigration advocates call for comprehensive reform, which means amnesty and nothing else. No fines, no back taxes, no going to the back of the line. Nothing but amnesty for all. Hardly seems fair to those across the world waiting patiently in line, filling out the proper paperwork, and those who even hired legal assistance and help with the process. I wonder if those people will feel cheated. I think both parties like this political football they can kick around for years and years to come. President Bush at least had one good idea while he was in office. The guest worker program, where people would get a work permit for a couple of years and would be able to renew this permit every couple of years again. What I think rankles many Americans is when we see a protest on immigration, many protesters are carrying non-American flags, which seem to show solidarity to some other country besides the United States. If you really want to stay here, your allegiance should be to this country. We have also seen some horrible crimes committed by a few PWPs that showed little regard for another person's life. though we should not equate these few sick souls to the mainly decent people who are trying to survive and wish us no harm. We haven't seen any congressional panels meeting with economic advisors, population experts, infrastructure or healthcare experts, an educational expert on the ramifications of millions of additional people without paperwork entering the country. Do we have the infrastructure to handle the inflow? Why don't we see these experts advising our government, and why aren't we seeing it on TV or the internet? We'll have a quote here. In 100 years, the population of the United States has increased from 12,800,000 to more than 121 million. That is 12 to 121 million in 100 years. Quoted from the Old York Road by Imogen Van Sickle, page 117. This book was published in 1936 and covers much of the Old York Road in New Jersey. Now, let's hit the like and subscribe button if you like what you're seeing, and hopefully you do, and you will like and subscribe. Now, if we go back to my favorite trio, the Three Stooges, they had a line in one of their shorts in the early 40s, which may sum up how some people feel about immigration. Mo had said, "Your minorities are pushing into our majorities, thus making our majorities minorities," which tends to bother people today. Republicans years ago wanted a national identification card. Of course, Democrats said no way, and that was the end of that idea. That died quickly. Most Americans are skeptical that the government can fix our immigration problem. It is clear that many people all over the world have come here and we weren't ready to receive them. Now let's go to a little cartoon here that we have that may illustrate it. Immigration in America, and this is our southern border. And here we have a couple of immigration people. And he says, "What did they say?" "I don't know, something about getting a job or doing a job, I'm not sure." Now, this may be an over-dramatization of what is happening at the border. Not everyone is on the terror watch list to come here, but we have found some people have been on the terror watch list, and we must be concerned with what is coming through our borders. So we need more help with immigration services in the future. So we'll just keep an eye on that for now. Where we should have spent money would have been to build immigration receiving centers and hire people to do background checks, transportation services for those who pass those background checks, money for more immigration judges, where we are sorely behind the 8 ball. We need more judges. Today, large cities are using their budget money to put up PWPs in hotels along with daily food services, as many Americans are having a hard time trying to feed their own families. It doesn't seem fair, does it? The one thing we can do is follow the laws that we've already passed in Congress. And they were passed years ago. We just don't seem to be using them. If new ones need to be passed, let the public know what these laws are so everyone knows what our politicians are up to. No backdoor meetings, nothing behind the scenes. Everything must be out in the open, in the sunlight, for everyone to see. We must all be in agreement that criminals from other countries must be removed. We have enough homegrown criminals here already. Of course, I'm not talking about minor violations, traffic tickets, parking tickets. I'm talking about serious crimes, and we all know what those serious crimes are. There is nothing politically incorrect about removing criminals from our country. We should never have to question that position. Criminal gangs should already be on our radar as far as removal goes. Non-citizens also have an obligation to repay America by having and raising good, decent children who will be good, honest citizens who will strengthen our nature in the future. And that's basically what we wanted to say about immigration today. Thank you for joining us. Good evening.